They can still earn it. They've got to win their last two. They need Pittsburgh to lose both. They do play them in the final week of the season. Buffalo in Cleveland. Josh Allen, the MVP, and Shedeur Sanders' rookie campaign, getting a chance to stack some starts and continuing to show out here. Harold Fannin. Did you know that he has more receptions than any rookie receiver? He does. The tight end from the MAC into the end zone. It's 7-0. Buffalo had an answer. James Cook III. He is putting on a show in traffic and getting to the outside. Great vision and speed, and Buffalo ties things up at 7 apiece. Browns trailing 13-7, 3rd and 2, and Sanders will keep it on the ground. But as he hits the deck, he ends up getting stepped on and would temporarily leave the game due to a pretty ugly-looking finger injury. Ouch. Browns would get a field goal. It's a 13-10 game. Ensuing Bills drive. Allen, Khalil Shakir, gain of 18. And then it's Cook, who had 117 rush yards. Through the tackle there, extends the ball to the goal line. Multiple rushing touchdowns in consecutive games for the first time in his career. It's 20-10. That's where we are when everyone's trying to figure out why wasn't this a safety. Meanwhile, the accounting people were interested in is who gets the sack there. Is that Myles Garrett? Credited for half a sack. He's got 22, half a sack away from tying the single-season record. From the Bills' perspective, what was significant was that limp. An X-ray on his right foot for Allen, but he continued in the game. So too did Sanders, as we mentioned. Here, the ball tipped. Joey Bosa tips it. Daquan Jones grabs it. Second pick of the game of Sanders, and the Bills settle for a field goal. So it's 23-17. The Browns get the field goal back, and so it's a 3-point game. About 5 to go, 4th and 2, and they go for it. And Sanders trying to make something happen and is sacked by Greg Rousseau, and that means Buffalo has a chance to put it to bed. This is 4th and 1. Allen looking. He's got Dawson Knox, and Knox cannot squeeze it. Looking back into the sun, perhaps, but that's a catch I'm sure Knox would tell you I got to have. So the Browns take over. But they don't have much time. They got a long way to go. And here, I'm thinking, is that a safety? No. Intentional grounding right at about the inch line. They punt it away. Buffalo, not pretty, not by a lot, but by enough, at least for them. Buffalo now has 6 victories this season when trailing by 7 points this year, which ties the 1990 squad for the most in a season in franchise history. The other came in 1990 with Jim Kelly leading the team to its first of what ended up being 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances. On the other side of it, Shedeur Sanders asked about the Browns' decision late to go for it on 4th down.
Great decision. Go for it on 4th and 2.
I know you can't be asking me that question, man. Come on, man. We can't see that's like the thing. Like, if we want to change, the narrative, change the franchise, if we want to like help, we got to speak life. You can't. Those type of things is like separate us. Like a lot of the players like get these type of questions, and then we want to be working with y'all. We want to be proactive, but like when you ask questions or when questions are asked to us players, and it's like you pinning stuff against each other, it's like, come on now, you know. It's like a thing in the locker room. Like, you know, we're not gonna be able to talk to them for real. We're not gonna be able to give them what they need, like, because that separates the team. That don't help anything. It don't help anything in any situation, no matter how you answer it.
Back in studio with the fellas to break down more of what we saw between the Bills and the Browns. And we could take the long-term approach for the Browns here. I'm sure we will. But short order, Mac, what are you seeing from this Bills team? We're looking for them to be in playoff form. We're asking the question if they have enough. It's a win, a 4th in a row.
Yeah.
What do you make of the quality of it?
Well, it wasn't the prettiest. At this stage in the National Football League season, you just want to win. It wasn't the prettiest, but they found a way. And when you look at the stat line for the Buffalo Bills, if I told you Josh Allen will only throw for 130 yards, no touchdowns at all, most people would say they would lose this ball game, right? That would be the common answer. But they won. And you know why? James Cook. James Cook said, Josh, don't worry, it's not your day, but it's my day. The offensive line in totality, they were phenomenal, jump-starting their successful efforts to be able to get to a nice lead in the first half, and they had enough to weather the storm to finish the deal in the second half. Along with the defense, they sacked Shedeur Sanders a few times, but when they were not sacking Shedeur Sanders, especially during that last opportunity for the Cleveland Browns, they made things difficult for him in terms of the coverage in the back end and what they did with the fronts and the games that they ran against the offensive lineman for Cleveland. It was ugly, but at this stage, like I said, in the National Football League season, you just want to find a way to win. They found a way to win. They came out to be healthy, to say the least. Get ready for the next week.
They are finding ways to win, but I'm a bit concerned about the Buffalo Bills moving forward just because what Josh Allen is having to do, and he wasn't able to do that today. They are going to play better teams in the playoffs, and they're going to need more from that offense. The offensive line did do a better job of protecting him, giving him time to deliver the ball down the field, but we have yet to see a receiver get loose for this Buffalo Bills offense, and they're going to need a go-to receiver. Josh Allen, he's not going to be able to, in my opinion, rely on his mobility, create extra time, because in this time of the season, the weather's going to be an issue. So therefore, receiver's not going to be as elusive. He's not going to be to get away from pressure as much as he did when it was in the fall, or later going into winter ball. So I'm a bit still concerned with this Buffalo Bills offense.
It's a great point. 9 different targets for Josh Allen in this game. Leading receiver Khalil Shakir with 34 yards. This is the black eye. This is the hole in the armor for the Buffalo Bills. If they're going to move forward and have that man wear his cape, someone has to complement that talent.
Yeah, he has to wear a cape, but you're concerned if he's wearing that cape, if he is Superman. Superman went into the x-ray room at halftime to take a look at that foot that he had injured. And because he put so much on himself, and actually let me back up, because the organization has put so much on Josh Allen, because he does not have a true #1 wide receiver, right? And Keon Coleman, again, a healthy scratch. This time not because he doesn't know how to be a professional, but because the team apparently decided there are better wide receivers out there. An indictment on the building of this team that Josh Allen doesn't have his pick from last year to throw to, that James Cook does have to go off. What do you need in the postseason? You need your run game and you need your defense. We know that they have the run game. We know that they have James Cook. They're still going to have to be able to throw the ball around the yard a little bit.
Yeah.
And we have not seen consistent evidence of that so far from the Bills, and there's nothing that shows me that I should believe in that in January. Meanwhile, they gave up some yards to the Cleveland Browns today, and that was without their starting running back for half that game with Quinshon Judkins going down. So, Pat, I'm right there with you. I am concerned. A win is a win, there's no doubt. And this is a game that was sandwiched between games against the Patriots and a game against the Eagles. And so you could have a little bit of a letdown, a true trap, if you will. Go ahead,
Well, if you look at the Buffalo Bills throughout their entire season so far this year, they have the mindset, not the mindset, they have the problem of playing down to the level of their competition.
That's a huge problem.
That's a problem.
If this is going to be the year that the AFC opens up for you,
that's it.
Because there's no Patrick Mahomes, you may not have a Lamar Jackson, you're not having a Joe Burrow. This is the year, and you play down to your competition.
That's what today. Right? They barely beat the Cleveland Browns without Quinshon Judkins. If you look at some of their losses earlier in the year, losing to Miami in the midst when Miami was in a very, very bad place. Right. Losing to Atlanta early in the year when Atlanta clearly has been in a bad place the entire season. So we've seen these ebbs and flows with the Buffalo Bills.
And should have lost against New England.
Should have lost to New England. They came back a few weeks ago against New England. Yeah. But then you look at some of their outstanding wins, right? Going on the road and dominating what they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Early in the year when Carolina was finding their stride, they put 40 on Carolina.
Right. Range of outcomes.
The ebbs and flows of Buffalo has been the storyline for their season, in which what we saw today has become a reality. Because to your point, JJ, next week, who they have? Philadelphia. I'm willing to bet you will see a different Buffalo Bills team next week because of the competition. But that's something that you don't want to see as you get ready for playoff football, because you can't just turn it on and off like that.
Because that's the same question we had last year with the Kansas City Chiefs, with them playing down to their competition, having to come back.
12-0 in one